Hey everybody, I'm Jeffrey Vizcaino, your director of social media for Playbill, and I'm here with internet sensation
Grace Aki, hello.
Oh my god! We're on the Fringe ship.
We're on a boat.
We are on a boat. Well, not only are we on a boat in the Port of Leith in Scotland, but we're at the Fringe.
Can you believe that we had to fly all the way to Scotland just to have this conversation?
That's the only reason we're here.
Spares no expense. They said, put those two on a boat.
Well, obviously, we're here covering it, but you are here because you are performing your show. Tell everyone a little bit about your show.
Yeah, it's To Free a Mockingbird. It gives my mother an aneurysm, and it's a short, 1 hour play about like family and grief, things that no one's ever seen before. It's a comedy, it's a dramedy, it's an opportunity for me to sit on the floor like this. It's great.
It's beautiful also. I had the pleasure of seeing it here. Grace, how did this start for you, this show? How did it come about? And tell me about the history of it for you.
Yeah, so I basically returned from Georgia to my Bronx apartment, and my new roommate, Joe Farrelly, who's an actor, sat me down and he said, what happened? And then I didn't stop talking for 2 hours, and he looked at me and he goes, I'd see that play. And I was like, what? And it was so weird. And so I never actually wrote anything. I started making voice notes and recordings into my phone and then outsourced like those recordings into making a script. So I never sat down to write anything. I just kept talking, which is something I've been doing since I was 3 years old.
And then you've performed the show, all over New York. Why be like, okay, next, Edinburgh Fringe?
Yeah, I was like, you know what? I should do Scotland. This will kill. All these Southern jokes are really going to make it happen. No, actually, frankly, it was Alex Edelman who one day said to me, he's like, you've got to do the show at the Fringe. And he'd never seen it or anything, but he said, it's something you have to do, like as a solo artist, as a comic. And I was just like, all right, man, bet. So I applied to all these venues, and here I am. And he was absolutely right. Yeah.
And what are you learning so far through the process of being here at Fringe? Because, I know we've talked to other stand-ups and other comedians and other people, and they said it's kind of like being on the road, except you're just doing it 7 days a week, so you just get to work on this material over and over and over.
Yeah, it's like I'm touring, but I'm not having to physically go anywhere. I just hop on the tram, and it's excellent because I get to have this experience with all different walks of people. A lot of Americans are coming, a lot of Europeans are coming, a lot of UK residents are coming, and sometimes they look at me, and one woman stopped me in the bathroom yesterday. She goes, didn't understand some of it. And I was like, uh-oh. But I love that, it's helping me grow as an artist, and I love finding the things that make people tick. The things that are universal are shocking to me, and it's just a lot of fun. Like, what a wild artistic experience that all of these people get to have kind of universally. I love it.
So what stuff has the international audience been connecting with?
They actually have a lot of the same film references. We forget that American cinema is ubiquitous with the world. But then sometimes I'll mention a Blockbuster, crickets. And I'm like, oh, so we watched movies but not at Blockbuster?
Truly.
Okay.
Truly.
But yeah, I like learning from it. It's kind of fun.
Yeah. You're here in this amazing city. What have you been able to experience so far here in Edinburgh?
Do you realize how many hot dog stands there are in Edinburgh?
So many.
There are so many. There are sausage rolls. There are hog slops. I don't know. There's just so many opportunities. But yeah, I've been shocked at the great street food and all that good stuff. I've touched every bit of wool I can get my hands on. The cashmere shops are not around. I am in debt.
Yeah, truly. I was here last year for the first time. My mom has quite the array of cashmere now. As I went to Edinburgh, and here's what you're getting.
Yeah, and I will say my mother has decided she loves Outlander, so she wanted to come on this trip. She said it wasn't for me. She said it's because of Outlander, and so she's actually sat in on every one of my shows. And I'm like, y'all don't even know that the titular main character in this show is in the audience with you.
Yes.
But it's been magical.
Well, I wanted to talk about that. You're a show that is essentially about your mom, your family, and they are in the audience for every one of these shows. What is that like?
It's very funny because the whole show is about storytelling and how these stories get passed down, and what actually makes the cut, and who lives, who dies, who tells your story. Hamilton first, me next. But it's literally it's that kind of culmination. And my mother has had so many opportunities afterwards. She goes, here's kind of what really, and I'm like, shh, I don't want to know. But also it's been a great bonding learning experience to hear more of her side, and yeah, it's just how do these stories get told, and that's kind of what the show's about.
Yeah. All right, so we're halfway through the Fringe at this point. What are you like? Is there anything you're hoping to do while you're here for the rest of the time? Anything you're like, oh, I really want to do that while I'm here in Edinburgh?
There are so many great solo shows. I actually got the pleasure of seeing one of the shows that we did the showcase for here at the Playbill Friendship for Pair. That comedy show, hysterical. There are 3,387 shows this year at the Edinburgh Fringe. Can't make it to all of them. But I do love supporting the fellow solo artists. I'm in like this WhatsApp community of women that are doing solo shows and non-binary people, and it's been fascinating to see all these people say like, I had 4 people today, and it's like, yeah, it's hard. The fact that 5 people are showing up to a solo show is like insane to me. So I'm just really grateful, and I hope to continue to build those audiences and be able to bring it back to New York to do like some kind of run.
Yeah, well, and you mentioned it. You've been kind of like our host in the morning for our showcases. How has that been?
It's been great because it's been my opportunity to actually see things. Like everyone on the ship is, getting a firsthand look at like what to see at the Fringe, and getting to make their choices. And based on those performances, we're able to go see shows, and it's been amazing. Like I've loved it, and I've gotten to meet more artists that I wouldn't have because I've been exhausted from doing my own shows. So it's been excellent.
All right, so tell me now, what is next for this wonderful show of yours, To Free a Mockingbird? What do you want to do next after this?
Yeah, the dream is definitely to take it back to New York and do some kind of off-Broadway run for sure. I have this like dream diary of all these photos I've taken at the Cherry Lane because that's like a bucket list thing for me. But if not like taking a tour, honestly, this has been like a tour. I've been doing on like a college tour like any comic does, but definitely taking it back to New York to say like, all right, now we've established this moment, let's bring it back.
I love that. All right, final very question. I've been asking a few of the people we've been doing interviews with. You, during your story, you talk about so much you've covered in your life, whatever, and different things you've been through. So I want to know right now, in this moment, what era are you in right now?
Oh, I am definitely in my brat era. It's a cliche, and I'm sure that everyone's saying it, but I really don't care. Like, this is Kamala's year, and like, let's really like give onus to that. We're in the UK, for Christ's sake. Charlie XCX is basically around every corner. I'm wearing green. So I think that I'm in my brat era. I think I'm in my like, you know what? No, I'm doing it.
I love that. Y'all, if you happen to be here at Fringe, please go see Grace's show, To Free a Mockingbird. And then when it comes back to New York, which it inevitably definitely will, go see it then. Grace, thank you so much for talking with us.
Thank you, Jeffrey. Thank you so much.
Bye, guys.